Did you know the average professional checks their phone 96 times a day? That's once every 10 minutes of your waking life. Now, imagine what you could accomplish if you reclaimed even half of that attention and redirected it toward your goals. I spent 5 years drowning in notifications, feeling busy but making zero progress on what actually mattered. Then I discovered digital minimalism, not just another productivity hack, a complete system for ambitious professionals who want to cut through the noise. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed but underwhelmed by your results, this is the framework you've been searching for. What if the biggest obstacle between you and your goals isn't your ability, but your attention? The average professional now spends over 3 hours daily just checking work messages. And that doesn't even count personal digital consumption. Think about that. 3 hours of your workday vanishes into the abyss of emails and Slack notifications before you've even opened Instagram or TikTok. Our brains have fundamentally changed. They now crave constant digital stimulation, creating a dangerous illusion of productivity. You respond to messages, clear notifications, and scroll through feeds, feeling productive while actually fragmenting your focus into pieces too small to build anything meaningful with. This isn't just a minor annoyance or a bad habit. It's a complete rewiring of your neural circuitry. The research is startling. After just 59 seconds of deep work, the kind that actually moves your life forward. A single notification resets your focus clock completely. Not partially, not somewhat, but completely. Your brain then requires another 23 minutes to regain that concentration. Do the math. If you receive just 10 notifications during your workday, laughably low estimate for most, you've lost nearly 4 hours of potential deep focus. No wonder you end each day exhausted, but with little progress on your most important work. The dopamine cycle created by notifications has become the invisible wall between your current reality and your potential. Each notification triggers a small hit of this neurotransmitter, training your brain to seek the next digital reward rather than the next breakthrough idea. I discovered this pattern in myself when I realized I was reaching for my phone before even fully forming a difficult thought. My brain had been conditioned to avoid the discomfort of complex thinking by seeking quick digital gratification. Your seemingly harmless digital habits are silently sabotaging your focus without your awareness. That quick email check first thing in the morning destroys your peak cognitive hours. That harmless social media scroll now consumes 2.5 hours daily for the average professional. These aren't occasional indulgences. They're daily taxes on your potential, collected in 30-second to 5-minute increments that add up to a stunning portion of your waking life. But the most dangerous aspect isn't even the time lost. It's the quality of thinking that becomes impossible in a digitally fragmented mind. Your brain cannot form the connections needed for innovation and insight when constantly interrupted. The kind of breakthrough thinking that advances careers and creates opportunities requires sustained attention, precisely what your current digital habits make impossible. You're trying to build a cathedral of thought with bricks that keep disappearing. What happens to ambitious professionals who continue this pattern? The research reveals a disturbing trend: increasing rates of burnout, declining career satisfaction, and a growing gap between effort and achievement. You work harder, stay connected longer, respond faster, and somehow fall further behind your goals. This isn't your imagination. It's the predictable result of allowing your most valuable resource, your attention, to be fragmented beyond usefulness. What if you could reclaim not just the time, but the quality of thought that digital overload has stolen from you? What if your mind could once again sustain focus long enough to solve complex problems and generate the insights that create real career advancement? Digital minimalism isn't about abandoning technology or becoming a digital hermit. It's about strategic elimination. When I removed 80% of my digital consumption for 30 days, my productivity didn't just improve incrementally, it transformed completely. I completed a project that had been stalled for months. I developed ideas that had been floating, half formed in my mind. The experience was like finding a part of my brain that had been locked away. The solution isn't another productivity app or time management system. I tried dozens of these solutions that ultimately added to the problem. More notifications, more systems to maintain, more digital management. Real transformation came when I fundamentally restructured my relationship with technology, and that starts with understanding what digital minimalism actually is. Digital minimalism is not about using less technology as some kind of moral virtue. It's about using technology as the powerful tool it was meant to be, rather than allowing it to use you. It's about intentionally designing your digital life to support your goals rather than distract from them. It means creating systems that put you back in control of your attention, instead of surrendering it to algorithms designed to capture and monetize every second of your focus. Before we examine the exact framework I used to transform my relationship with technology, I want you to understand something crucial. Your brain's ability to focus is not permanently damaged. Your capacity for deep, meaningful work is still there, waiting to be reclaimed. The path to reclaiming it is simpler than you might think, but it requires something most productivity systems never address, and that's exactly what we'll explore next. Digital minimalism isn't another 30-day digital detox that leaves you right back where you started. We've all tried those. Delete social media apps. Put the phone in a drawer for a weekend. Feel better for a few days. Then slide right back into the same patterns. What makes digital minimalism different is that it's a complete system for reclaiming your attention permanently. It works differently than anything you've tried before because it addresses the root causes of digital overwhelm rather than just the symptoms. Traditional approaches to digital overload fail because they focus entirely on restriction rather than replacement. Your brain needs alternative inputs, not just the absence of digital stimulation. When you simply remove digital stimulation without replacing it with meaningful alternatives, your mind rebels. I discovered this the hard way during my first attempt at digital decluttering. I removed social apps from my phone, but provided my brain no alternative source of novelty and connection. The result? I was back scrolling Instagram after just 4 days, feeling like I'd failed yet again. The critical difference between digital minimalism and a standard digital detox is sustainability. Studies show that 92% of people who attempt digital detoxes return to their previous usage patterns within 18 days unless they implement a structured framework. That number shocked me when I first encountered it, but it explained my previous failures perfectly. Without a system, willpower alone isn't enough to overcome the carefully engineered pull of digital platforms. The framework begins with setting specific digital boundaries, not vague goals like use phone less, and concrete rules that remove decision fatigue. For example, no screens before 9, or email checked only at 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. A recent study found this approach increased productive work output by 37% for knowledge workers. The specificity matters because it transforms abstract intentions into concrete behaviors that don't require constant decisions. When I implemented the rule no phone in the bedroom, my mornings transformed from immediate digital consumption to focused preparation for the day. One of the most powerful practices in the digital minimalist framework is the digital Sabbath, as a 24-hour period without digital inputs. This practice has been adopted by CEOs from companies like LinkedIn, Microsoft, and Patagonia, not as a luxury, but as a necessity for clear thinking. Research shows this practice reduces cortisol levels by 28% and increases creative problem-solving ability. I was skeptical until I tried it myself. After just 3 weeks of implementing a digital Sabbath on Sundays, I found myself looking forward to this day of complete mental clarity. The most counterintuitive but effective technique in the framework is what I call pretending the internet is broken. This scheduled period of forced analog work creates the conditions for flow state that's impossible to achieve with digital interruptions. I started with just 1 hour per day, working with a notebook and reference materials, but no internet access. Within that hour, I consistently produced my best work and solved problems that had seemed insurmountable during my connected hours. 3 analog activities can effectively replace your most addictive digital habits while providing similar psychological rewards. Physical notebooks for capturing ideas provide the same satisfaction as posting thoughts online, but without the distraction of feedback. Single tasking walks for processing problems give your brain the movement and novelty it craves without overwhelming it with information. And analog reading for information consumption delivers focused knowledge acquisition without the rabbit holes of hyperlinks and notifications. But how do you maintain professional connections and stay current in your field while practicing digital minimalism? This is where most people abandon their attempts at digital control, the fear of missing out on opportunities or falling behind professionally. The solution isn't digital abstinence, but digital intentionality. A notification adjustment strategy reduced anxiety by 43% in a recent study. Switching all notifications to manual check except for calls from a pre-selected VIP list. This maintains availability for true emergencies while eliminating the constant cortisol spikes from routine notifications. When I implemented this change, I discovered something surprising. Nothing important was missed, but my ability to concentrate increased dramatically. The transition to digital minimalism requires a structured 30-day plan specifically designed for ambitious professionals. This isn't about digital abstinence stuff. It's about digital intentionality that aligns with your goals. The plan begins with a complete inventory of your digital consumption, followed by elimination of low-value inputs, establishment of concrete boundaries, and integration of analog alternatives. After implementing this framework, you'll find yourself using technology as the powerful tool it was meant to be, rather than being used by it. The choice you face isn't between success and digital minimalism. It's between success because of digital minimalism or continued frustration without it. Look around at who's making real impact today, and they aren't the most digitally connected professionals. They're the most intentionally disconnected. Your true potential isn't hiding behind more information or more connection. It's waiting in the spaces of focused attention that digital minimalism creates. The question isn't whether you can afford these practices, it's whether you can afford not to adopt them. Start with just one boundary today. Turn off all notifications except calls for the next 24 hours and watch what happens to your mind. That small step begins reclaiming not just your attention, but your ambition.